And that's what people will tell you.
This is really good food. Chubby, Yana likes it.
It's a
Cool one.
We could shape it.
Yana, tell us a few words about Chubby, the new tree.
What?
Chubby the tree.
Chubby? What's the chubby is?
Okay. He's the best one I've seen here.
It's beautiful. I like it. It's so wide and it's so green.
Let's go back to where America was before September 11th. People were more carefree. They didn't think about terrorism. They didn't think about war or attacks. That was something that always happened far away. If you drive up here through all these small towns, you will see almost every town has a monument like this.
Really?
Almost every town. You know, every town here lost 3, 4, 5 people. I think what's very tragic for Americans, and again, so a lot of people are still in a state of denial, right? They really don't want to talk about it. They don't want to remember it. I think there's more and more now suspicion of outsiders, especially when you get out of the big cities in America. Everyone is looking at each other as sort of like a potential maybe threat, terrorist. It's soaking into people's consciousness on the subconscious level. This idea, if you see something, say something. It's taken me, say, 3 years to get finally to be accepted here in this town. I am pretty much a local guy. People know my family. I'm still an outsider, you see? I've been away for a long time. And that was never an issue before. We really did have a tradition, a history of rights and democracy in this country up until 9/11. I came from the old America, where you couldn't have surveillance cameras. That was considered unconstitutional, an invasion of privacy. I remember huge scandals when I was a kid because the police had a suspect and they were going through the suspect's garbage, which was on the curbside. But they didn't have a search warrant from the court. So the judge said that's illegal. The police have no right to go through the garbage of a suspect until they get a search warrant. I mean, now it sounds ridiculous. The police can break down your door with guns, throw you to the ground, threaten your entire family, and they don't need a warrant. Under the pretext of anti-terrorist measures, they can almost do anything they want by using the terrorist threat. They can justify any action. We have to accept it. That's the reality. That's the new America. It's like, welcome to the new America. Yeah, this is it.
There are people that just left that never came back, and then there are new people like me who came to New York, wasn't afraid to come to New York and move here, even though the attacks happened, several years prior. I love New York. Everything's changed. The very idea of talking and having a conversation, just you and I, as regular people, about terrorists or terrorism or things we're seeing on TV all the time, people didn't talk like that. We didn't discuss those things. We weren't thinking like that. It's common language now. Isn't that something?
What about your rights and freedoms? Are you willing to give some of them up now to stay safer?
I would be okay with some of it, or maybe all of it, if it means a safer country and place to live. Because ultimately, whether someone's tapping my phone or not is not as significant as someone, bombing someone down the street when there's a marathon or a plane goes by or something like that. I mean, do you have any idea how close the helicopters get to where I live? Like, if a helicopter or plane wanted to come right now in this building, we're 61 stories high. That could happen. So I will give up that to make sure that a plane doesn't do something like it did before. And I think that's the challenge. Everyone's trying to figure out what's the next thing that's going to happen. This building starts on the 50th floor for the apartments, so I only get to my apartment from the elevator. I've never taken the stairs all the way down. I should time myself to get out.
minutes, 30 seconds.
Gosh, we're lucky to be alive. Oh, this is the very, very bottom.
I could probably count on one hand from 9/11 till now how many times I've been on the train. I won't go. Phone's always charged, never turned off. Always have my badge and my ID on me, always. God forbid something happens. You can get access where others can't. I always have a certain amount of money with me in case the ATM stopped working. I've never driven anything but a Jeep since 9/11. Because I remember saying, well, a Jeep will get over a lot of debris, so if they knock down buildings, I can get out of here, I can drive over it. I just instinctively would watch planes fly over whenever I heard them. So whenever I see a plane, and I noticed that I'm with friends and they do the same thing. Oh, and then they just watch it go by, and as soon as it's out of sight, okay. I mean, something in my head's like, all right, that's good. Plane's out of the area. I'm glad that I volunteer here at the museum. When given the opportunity to talk about the people that were lost that day, give people a first-hand account of what happened, and then when given the opportunity, talk about my friends that I lost, because their memory needs to stay alive. I mean, there's 2,977 people that day that were murdered. The hundreds that have died since then that everybody forgets now. My great days are with my kids and my grandkids. If I didn't have a family, we wouldn't be having this conversation, Yana. I would have, ended my life a long time ago because it was that painful. Most of terrorism is not the actual act, it's the fear. Yeah, they've accomplished that all right. I mean, I'd hate to admit it.